Hey guys, today next on our Encanto list, we'll be talking about Pedro. We'll be discussing his history along with the family and the grief they have put on them, and the explaining history and explaining personality, and of course and foremost, some theories about him. Starting out with how Abuela and him first meet. It appears in the song Dos Dolguitas that they have met at some kind of party ritual, them holding candles and meeting on the first glance. Pedro shyly waving at her. Eventually, you see them pan out into living with each other. Abuela showing Pedro that she's gonna have 3 kids, and Pedro reacting to this in a very funny and yet kind of nervous sort of way, saying that it's going to be a lot of work for them to having triplets. And then them loving each other embracely. But unfortunately, this all ends when they look in fear of the destruction that the invaders have done. They had to unfortunately leave their town. And unfortunately, he had to leave Abuela behind to protect the family he loved. With that, he took a sacrifice and died. This upset Abuela greatly. But the candle she had hold turned into an Encanto, a house in a town for her and the people to live in. Especially a house for her to live in as well, with the grief that she had of the power of her husband. Her and her children lived in that house and grew a family together. The whole family remember him fondly as a sacrifice for the family. Told by Abuela about how she felt to Mirabel especially. Mirabel feeling everything and knowing Pedro as a spirit better than anyone, at least in my opinion. As a spirit, Pedro definitely is an extraordinary character, an extraordinary person. It seems like he definitely made an impression on the Madrigal family. But what was he as a person? Well, by what I could tell, he's probably very shy, kind of wise, and also probably a bit nerve and maybe also brave in a way. It's kind of hard to depict of what Pedro would be like, but I could predict that he was probably a nice guy and his sacrifice of what he did for the family. So, a lot of these expressions can be put onto the casita. Some say in some theories that the casita is actually him as a spirit. This may be true in some kind of way. I could definitely see where they're getting it from. My theory, though, is that he is the spirit of the candle. I may have explained this in my Abuela theory, but I'll explain it to you in the Pedro side of things. Pedro appears to have the same expressions as the casita, waving its flaps to and fro, just like he waves his hands to and fro. And many of the feelings that he describes within the house is the same as many others. Of course, the casita reenacts to every single member as if they were real, like how he scolds Camilo for getting more food, or when he does more, pretty much, or when he tells Maribel he can't do some things. Pretty much, the casita could be Pedro in some way, but in my theory, that his spirit lives inside the candle, and the candle is his prayer candle. And in a way, that spirit inside the candle controls the house and disrupt the feelings from him. Instead of Abuela disrupting the feelings from her, it's Pedro disrupting his feelings from the house. And that is all I got to say about Pedro as a character. I'll see you next time. And tell me in the comments below what you think Pedro is all about. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Also, the montage shows us Pedro and Abuela getting married along with the candle that they once had.
have.